Hey everybody,
Oh,
welcome to our
hey.
live show. Today we're going to talk about Zack Snyder's Justice League. I've been looking forward to this for a while. Have you, Mikey?
Yeah. Well, ever since I knew about it, which was
Yeah, you knew about it yesterday.
yesterday. It's like Snyder cuts out. You got to watch it. I went, do I really have to? Because I watched the original version, and James was like, "You got to. It's something special."
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. And then what did you get? You got a Now TV pass, did you, to watch it?
Yeah, guys, don't do what James did. 26 million complicated things. Now TV doing a free trial for 7 days. Sign up and get it. Watch it for free, people.
Yeah, you can tell who's the brains of the operation. It's obviously Mikey. So yeah,
I'm just money saving man.
Yeah, so for anybody watching, of the whole 5 people who are watching, so thank you for watching. There will be spoilers in this review, so this is just a bit of a heads up. And we are joined by some special guests of ours, some good friends from the YouTube and comic community. And for anyone that doesn't know roughly what the Snyder Cut is, in 2017, the director of the Justice League, Zack Snyder, he suffered a personal tragedy. His daughter, Autumn Snyder, committed suicide during post-production of the movie. So he exited the movie, and Warner Brothers installed Joss Whedon to edit the movie, and he added some additional reshoots. So the mess that we saw in 2017 was a result of that. So when we look back at it, Zack Snyder had 4 hours of footage that he'd filmed, and Joss Whedon had in fact did a 2-hour movie where he obviously didn't use the Zack Snyder's additional footage, but he also introduced his own reshoots. So it's, what did he? I don't understand what he did, but he basically just didn't use the best bits that we've obviously seen in this movie. But yeah, so if we introduce our first guest, he's a new appearance on the channel. He goes by the name Ben, and he is the attention-seeking geek. Welcome, Ben.
Welcome, Ben.
Thank you for having me. Be gentle, okay?
We will, Matt. We will. We I've said for a while, I find you really funny when I've seen you on the streams, and the streams that I've been on with you, I enjoy like the banter, and I find you quite funny, mate. You have a very, very dark sense of humor.
Good. And there's no way, there's no other better way to put pressure on your guest than describing him as funny. Introduce it. So well, yes. I feel like I've got a lot to. I feel like Joss Whedon, like the pressure is on my shoulders, and I can only screw it up.
No, don't worry, mate. It's fine. We should have introduced you as like the comic relief of the guest, but if you want to tell the audience what you've been up to recently, because you did a massive thing for obviously Red Nose Day the other day. You raised a bit of money, didn't you?
We did really well, really well. So yeah, we've been kind of hyping it up for the last month or so, and it was a live stream event, much like this, but we hosted kind of auctions, a raffle, there were games and stuff going on throughout the stream, and it was all in aid of Comic Relief and Red Nose Day, which the BBC had their shows yesterday, which, can I say, didn't compare.
No, not at all, mate. Not at all. I literally had it on in the background the other day, and it was hilarious.
But yeah, so we did really well. So last time I checked, we were on £666, which is a little bit of a worrying number. So if someone wants to donate £1, please do, because it makes me nervous.
Oh, mate, I'll tell you what it is. I know why for a fact that is the situation. It's because this guy. It's all about.
Oh, it was Mephisto all along. But no, I'm really proud of everyone kind of within the community and stuff. Really, like I think everyone kind of rallied behind it, and if anything, it shows how much money us geeks and nerds are hoarding.
Yeah.
So, but no, it's great. So, that's it now. And it will just be business as usual over on my channel.
So, do you want to let any of the viewers know what your general videos are?
Yeah, so I at the moment do a weekly kind of picks of the week. So it's my kind of alternative take on my favourite cover, panel, and overall read of the week. I don't know how much longer that'll be going on, just because of commitments and stuff. So it might become a little bit more random. It's pretty random anyway, to be quite honest, if you watch the videos, which not many people do. But it's it's going to be a little bit more sporadic, and who knows, I might go live more now that I know how to. That was my StreamYard virginity. That was
it is nerve-wracking, isn't it, the first time, to be fair?
Yeah, I sweated a lot. Like you didn't see, but I changed t-shirt halfway through.
Oh my gosh!
So I might do more of that. But I appear on the Killer Comic Show as well every week over at Charlie's channel, Geeky Guy Comics, and that's with Andy at Perpetual Comics and Not Quite Mint as well sometimes. So that's kind of our little motley crew over there. But it's nice to be on the other side of things.
That's right. Just relax now. All you got to do is give us your opinion on the Zack Snyder cut, but no pressure. No pressure.
It's quite hard to do that in a relaxed fashion.
Yeah. We'll introduce our next guest. Who should we introduce, Mikey? Who do you want?
I don't know.
We'll introduce this guy. It's Keanu Keys.
Wait! What's happening? Where am I?
Thanks for coming on, Kev. We love you. We love you to bits, mate. You're our American brother. So.
No, come on, keep it going. No, thank you so much for having me, Ben. Nice. Oh, all the way. Thanks for joining in. Fist bump, buddy. Fist bump, right? Yeah, there you go.
There you go. There it is.
No, thank you so much for having me. Missed you guys last week. I was out getting tattooed, but I'm back. We're here, and we're gonna give this movie a review. We're gonna do it.
Don't rub it in that you can get tattooed at the moment, or was it like a dodgy one in someone's basement or something?
It's my brother's shop, so
you need to see the video, mate. It's quality, really good, and it's an awesome tattoo.
Yeah, I did a video on it, so you can go check that out. Bam.
I will do a view.
I won't give any spoilers on what it is, so you can go in all shocked, all not knowing anything.
See, I'm running out of space myself. I'm running out of space now.
You're gonna start getting them on your head.
Do you know? Have you ever read The Dark Knight? Is it Returns, where the gang have like a Batman symbol that, on their face? I just, I'm testing the water with the wife first.
I'm sure she would love it,
and also work as well.
Were you having a pop at me because I've got The Dark Knight Returns behind me there?
No. Hey, that's what I'm.
Because it's snapped. I haven't read it. Is that what you're saying? So you're saying
you haven't read it? Well, now I know.
I have read it.
And then you can go up to people. This is the symbol.
Frank Miller. I feel like everyone's just forgot about Frank Miller in recent years. We should talk about him more.
Might have something to do with some of the drawings he's done in the past. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
But Kev, you got you doing another live show this evening?
So I have my live show at 8:00 Eastern Standard Time. Today is What's That Comic Book? I'm going to be joined by 3 guests from Instagram and another fellow YouTuber. So if you guys are not familiar with What's That Comic Book, it's just where I hang out with people from the community. We randomly pick comic books out of our collection, and we try to give as much information about it. It's really chill, hang out, and it's not very structured or serious at all.
No, it's a great show. I love it. I love people just showing off their slabs, so or comics anyway. So
yeah, good time.
Cool. Right, so we introduce our final guests, and they are the one of my favorite YouTube couples. It's Jason and Amanda Parker. But in this case, it's Amanda and Jason Parker because she's.
Look at those cuties.
Amanda's what?
I don't know. What's the
Why do I go first, James?
Because you're on the left to the right, because like the way I see you.
Okay, yeah.
I didn't want it to be like misogynistic by introducing Jason first. That was all.
Oh,
It's Jason and his wife.
Because they're doing hate misogyny is a hate crime now, so I could get
yeah, that's true.
Shackled.
Yeah.
But you might like that.
I might like it. Yeah, we'll see where it goes.
Where's this going?
I was going to say this took a weird turn very quickly.
What's going on?
It's gone dark. So, guys, thanks for having us on again. Love being on your show, and I'm really excited to talk about what we're going to talk about tonight.
Yeah,
it almost sounds like he doesn't know what we're talking about.
Tag me on here. I just don't know what's going on.
One Division, yeah, One Division.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I thought it was Avengers. Shit.
So, Jace, have you guys got anything going on with the channel? Have you had an update or anything regarding those books from last week?
Yes. So I don't know if you know that I had a few label issues with CGC. So on the Monday, I actually got hold of the London office in CGC. Spoke to a guy called Jamie, top bloke. He said, no problem, just send them in to us. And they're going to be reholded. And I obviously won't be charged, and they're going to reimburse any costs that incurred for postage.
But are they keeping the same grades?
We don't know. It wasn't really clear what the grades were afterwards, because there was a mix-up with the titles, mix-up with the mix-up with the grades in the book itself. So
see why not?
I know.
Let's be honest.
Well, I know there's some people out there that get quite defensive over CGC as much as they will stand by them. But one thing I would say that with Jason and his videos, we have done videos, or he's done videos, where CGC has been quite positive, and there hasn't been any issues. But when you get the issues where the sender slabs back that are cracked or got the wrong labels, and it does need to be addressed. So I'd like to say that Jason's videos are quite balanced.
Yeah.
On the whole, they are.
Yeah, I mean,
You get the good and the bad.
Yeah.
he still sent 100 books last week, didn't he? Or something silly.
I mean, how many books have you sent off to CGC?
Oh, in total? Oh, well,
I might close my ears. So how many books have you sent off to CGC? Really?
yeah, but
Has anyone seen the movie?
Basically funding.
That was done by Zack
Yeah,
Snyder.
yeah.
Which one? How many of those are you sending me? Oh man, that's right. I already got one.
Yeah.
But I think, unfortunately, like Man says, that there are people out there, diehard CGC fans. No matter what you say, they're always going to defend them. And it's a shame, really, because they've got a rather blinkered view, in my opinion.
I think what people don't understand is, Jace, is that you haven't gone on there to bash CGC.
No.
You've just done a live unboxing, and CGC have made a mistake.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Made three mistakes.
Yeah. And it was meant to be a happy occasion.
Yeah.
It was meant to be a laugh. And it just ended in tears, my tears.
Yeah.
And it is what it is,
I'll tell you, when I watched that video, I was like, man, I'm glad I wasn't there that day.
I know. There would have been a few F-bombs, I'm sure.
I'd be like,
yeah.
But you have made videos where you have been generally disappointed because you weren't expecting the grades, were you? And you couldn't understand it, which is fair enough. And everybody would be like that, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
But then I've had this expectation.
Yeah, but then there's been times where I've got grades that I never knew I'd get.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, not to go too far into depth with this though, but we're seeing so many mistakes by CGC, and I'm a diehard CGC fan, but you're not seeing any of this come from CBCS. You're not seeing any sort of these kind of mistakes from them.
Okay.
I agree. CGC people will tell you different, but I haven't seen any.
Now for Kevin to introduce his new sponsor, CBCS.
Superman t-shirt time underneath.
I think it's a good idea for a future live stream where like an analysis of CGC versus CBCS.
Almost like a presidential debate.
That'd be a good idea.
That sounds like hard work to watch.
It is.
Can I ask a question? What did you guys think of that new intro with the MJ?
Oh, that was amazing, by the way. I liked how you colored your initials for MJ. I like that.
Yeah, because people always I don't know if it's obvious enough or not. You know, like the M is for Mikey and the J is for James. It's not for Michael Jordan.
You'd be shocked on what you have to explain to people.
Yeah.
The other one was Mary Jane. Is it Mary Jane Comics?
Mary Jane, yeah.
That's what I thought at first.
I did really disappointed if they came to the channel looking for MJ and for
yeah.
Yeah.
There would be. Right. Should we get just to let you know that new intro was done by my friend John, who from roguesandvillains.com. So,
I thought you did that.
Good job, John.
No. I'm not good enough to do that.
I was going to
That
say.
means John had to watch footage of me to edit that in. Poor bloke. He'll never get that time back.
I did like the video bit at the end, but like the intro with MJ Comics and all that. He's done all that on like
That, it looked really cool, to be fair.
Yeah.
Very flash.
Thanks, John. Thanks.
Thank you.
So, shall we start the review then? Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Go on,
I'm ready.
So, let us do the first thing, and let's go.
Oh,
Man, super.
Wow.
all right.
Wait,
Well,
what
I
was
was-
going on then between?
I was so engaged then.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Hypnotic, isn't it?
So, prior thoughts. What do we think? Who wants to go first?
So my prior thoughts is I was very skeptical. I went into this like hugely, with a kind of negative frame of mind, to be honest, just because I was kind of the thought that you can only polish a turd so much. That like, how could Joss Whedon and like I used to be a big Joss Whedon fan until it was revealed recently that he's basically a pig. So I admired his work a lot, and I was really kind of confused when the film came out as to like how it got so bad under his watch. And then, when this whole release the Snyder Cut, and I just thought, like sometimes fans just let it go. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, let it go. Like, it's not going to happen. Just like, shut up, you nerd. But then, the power of fandom now is ridiculous. Like, the fact that we've got this, and it's obviously tragic what happened kind of midway through production, and the fact that Zack had to leave. So, what an amazing thing for him as well to be able to kind of come back. And there's nothing worse than starting something and not being able to finish it. Yeah. I was waiting for someone to make a loo.
Yeah, we don't. No one was.
Good. You're clearly more highbrow on this channel. There's nothing worse than that. So I was quite happy for him that he kind of have the opportunity to come back and do that. But yeah, I thought, how really what could he do with it? He could maybe cut some of the like things that you'll never unsee, like CGI Superman mouth, and maybe add some music, and what more can be done. And yeah, obviously, as I will discuss as we go on, I was proven wrong.
Yeah. Kev, what do you think, mate?
All right, so I will I will say the same things that's been. So when they were talking about Snyder Cut, I was the same thing. Like, guys, like, cut it out. Like, it's this movie's dead. Okay, like Warner Brothers has just like put out probably one of their worst movies. Like, how could you put something like that out for a Justice League movie? Well, like, fandom said, they got it going. And when I was kind of shocked when I first heard that, a Snyder Cut is going to be released. And I wasn't excited. I've never been excited for this movie, to be honest. Okay. And when I went to go watch it, I was already like thinking like, I'm probably not going to get too impressed by this movie. And I sort of wasn't impressed by the movie, to be honest. I mean, let me get something straight. It is far better than the first movie. Okay.
Whoa! You're skipping way ahead here, mate.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's like for the we're talking about your prior thoughts, not you.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Whoa.
All right. Prior thoughts.
Yellow
I thought it was
card.
okay. It was all
Yeah.
right.
Okay, cool.
There you go. I'll just leave it there.
See you later.
It was all
He's
right.
just bursting to slag it off. He's bursting to slag it off.
Yeah. I'm gonna go Super Saiyan. Like
Amanda, Jason.
Well, first of all, why is my head square? I've got a square head. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know if anyone's ever told you before.
I was going to say, like, you need to speak to your parents, if anything.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I can't afford you.
Lego head.
So, moving on. Prior thoughts, Mand, what do you think?
I hate it when you do that.
I know. That's why I do it.
So my prior thoughts, like when I first saw, I get kind of excited for any sort of DC or Marvel film because the hype is always behind it and you get excited, you want to see something different. And obviously halfway through the film, Zack had to stop filming, had to get involved for personal reasons, as we all know that. And then Joss took up the mantle. And it turned out that it was a bit crap. To be honest, It was slightly underwhelmed. I was underwhelmed and a little bit disappointed, and it just didn't float my boat, and I found it a little bit boring. And I'm thinking, if I was Zack and I wanted, or if I was Joss and I was taking over someone's film, I would have tried to make it to how Zack envisaged it. You know, how he would have wanted it to be, not sort of like try to make it his own. Which I think is what he did, and I think he blew it. So I was kind of looking forward to Zack's version because it was going to be the original version.
Yeah,
great.
Amanda. No, I mean,
Jace?
Yeah, what she said.
What she said.
That's literally what she said.
Yeah. I think, to be fair though, when obviously Zack had to leave, and everyone said, "Right, Joss Whedon's coming in," I think people were excited for it, weren't they? Because they thought, this is the guy that's done Avengers. Yeah. This is the guy that did Buffy.
He's done some great stuff.
Yeah, Cabin in the Woods. And, he's done some amazing writing, amazing. And I thought he's the guy to pick up the mantle.
Yeah.
How wrong we all were, really.
Yeah.
It's one of those films, the original theatrical cut is largely forgettable, I think.
Yeah.
And of course, seeing the Snyder cut then made me think it was a completely different movie.
Yeah,
because I couldn't remember much of it from the original. So that's just my thoughts on it. I thought he did a terrible job. And like the guy said, people were saying, "Oh, do the Snyder cut," and people were thinking, "Is there a Snyder cut? Are people just saying this just to sort of?" Yeah, and maybe it, like Ben says, with the fandom, maybe they did just pull their finger out and thought, let's do this,
But people criticised Zack, didn't he? Because he used like the Hallelujah track when he first released the trailer. Do you remember that? There was a bit of a backlash.
Yeah.
But, I kind of think it might have been a Hallelujah moment, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely.
Because we saw some stuff in there that wasn't in the original.
Yeah.
Done better.
Cool. Well, Mikey, for finding out about it yesterday.
Finding out about it yesterday, obviously there was a rumor. I never knew that it was actually going to appear. I wasn't even interested at all. I watched the first Justice League. I thought it was absolutely rubbish. And I now that I've seen the Snyder cut, it just makes me feel that I don't know. Maybe they should have just paused production and just waited for him to come back. Because if what he's put out now was supposed to be the original, he could have had so many more ideas at the original, obviously shooting. It could have even been even better than what it was. And that's all I'm saying is literally, I've watched the Justice League, and you know me, James, I don't like DC as it is anyway, so I always go into it really
that
skeptical.
infamous catchphrase. I don't like DC.
So literally, when I go to watch a DC movie, I'll very rarely come away going thinking, you know what, that's a really good film. But you know what, I think it was on par with Wonder Woman, but and I really liked Wonder Woman.
Again, skipping ahead. But
no. But Wonder Woman's a different film, though, isn't it? So,
yeah, cool.
I'm just saying.
Well, I'm just going to what Amanda said basically. If, for instance, as a fellow professional, Josh Whedon, if he's taking helm of, after that tragic incident, he should, like keep it to Zack's vision. But he obviously went in there and he didn't do that. He pissed off a load of the cast. He put his own stamp on it, like, typical Josh Whedon. He went in with his ego off the back of 2 Avengers films. And, out of respect to Zack, what happened to him, you can understand why Zack Snyder would have been annoyed, the fact that wasn't the movie that he made.
And
like,
could I add something too, like to what you're saying? Like he tried making the Justice League like a Marvel movie, like from something from the Marvel universe, something that it's not.
Yeah, definitely, mate. And he basically tried to he put in so many like comedic scenes, and they tried to make it a bit more funny, a bit more light. Obviously what happened after Batman v Superman, DC got a bit dark, didn't it? And they Warner Brothers felt that like the box office took a hit because it wasn't like the Marvel movies that were being produced. Maybe, I don't know, but I think out of respect to Zack Snyder, I think Josh Whedon should have gone in there, tidied it up a little bit, and put out Zack's vision. And we wouldn't have got this now. But I think he just, what he did was a disgrace, to be honest. But we'll get to Josh Whedon later on. But
I think Warner Brothers had a lot to do with how bad that first cut was as well. I think they got involved on a lot of decisions, and from what we'll talk about with the Snyder cut, they're even I was kind of watching elements of it like, it probably wouldn't have had that in the original cut, on kids' toys. So I think Warner Brothers, there were some guys in suits making decisions, I think, as well.
Like with any movie, really, but with such a big budget.
I mean,
movie.
the good thing with Marvel Studios is now those guys in suits are comic book writers, and,
they're fans,
and you guys in trainers.
Right, so that brings us now then to the next question, which is, do we think 4 hours is too long? What do we think?
I could give you the number of a couple of people who might be able to answer, but I can't answer that myself. No, I think I don't think it is too long. The way that I described this film, I didn't watch the film, the Snyder Cut. I experienced the Snyder Cut.
It was like he was inside you, wasn't he? For like,
oh my god!
No, it was it just felt like a kind of, because I pretty much it's pretty much the full day, that you'll spend watching this, or the full night or full morning or whatever it may be. So it really did feel like you're fully kind of immersed, for that time, and it needed the 4 hours. Like, now that I've seen it, I wouldn't want any less, or I wouldn't want any of those moments kind of narrowed down or kind of cut down or anything. So look, how long's Titanic? What, 3 hours in it?
Yeah.
No one whinges about that. We all bloody love it. So even if you won't admit it, Mikey, I can see you laughing. You love Titanic. I know you do.
He loves it.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. Of course I do. Who wouldn't?
He is there jamming to Celine Dion.
He's a big Leo fan as well, isn't he? Mikey?
Yeah. Come on, Leo.
And Avatar, that basically any James Cameron film. But I mean, it's I don't think it's too long. I think it needed that time. And with the episodic, they were originally going to plan to potentially have it as like episodes with the chapters and things. I think it would have worked because the way they kind of cut those up was effective in the film, but I wouldn't have wanted to go away for a week, live my life for a week, and come back to it. Like part of that experience was having it all in one sitting. So no, 4 hours is not long enough. That's a Ben Crampton opinion. Thank you.
My thoughts are my own. Jason, Amanda, what were your bums like?
Wanna go first?
Yeah, I do. To me, it didn't feel like 4 hours. I'll be honest with you. And I think that's the key, isn't it? And I think Richard touched upon it just now in the chat, that if it keeps you engaged, and I think it doesn't really matter how long a movie is. It tells a story. To me, I suppose some of the slow motion scenes perhaps elongated it a little bit, but that's just Zack Snyder style.
Yeah.
So for me, I really enjoyed it. I was engaged. And I watched it in one sitting as well. You know, some people watch in different sittings, but I found that I was thoroughly engaged, and I ended up finishing the movie, and I realized I'd pissed myself.
Amanda, you need to get the bucket next time, okay? Hold it under him.
Well, get some of them incontinent pants.
Yeah, I need some pants going on.
I'm 50 now, you know. I can't not go to the toilet. You know,
50? You're 50?
No, you're not.
51. 51.
51?
So literally, I've got to go to the toilet now every 20 minutes. So after 4 hours of watching that,
The child of a bladder.
it was nice.
Bladder of a child.
I had a warm feeling to start off with.
No, I'm a bladder of a child.
Small child.
Child's bladder.
Yeah.
Wherever that was from.
Yeah.
So I had to watch it in 2 parts anyway because I had to leave. So I watched the first couple of hours and then I had to come back to it.
Yeah.
But even it still didn't feel like it was drawn out and it was long and it was an effort watching it.
Yeah.
You know, I was just really engrossed. And there's been plenty of films that have been released before. I don't know whether 4 hours is the limit, that we've been like to the cinemas and we've watched really long films like Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit. They were always really marathon type films.
Yeah.
You know? And sometimes if it calls for it, then why not? Some films should be cut a lot shorter. But I think it needed it because you had the characters where you had more background story, didn't you? We learned a lot more, and you definitely needed that. And I don't think you could take it out in that one. So the 4 hours is fine.
Kev?
Fine.
Is 4 hours too long? Yes and no. Okay, so I think it was you messaged me and I told you like, yeah, I'm watching it right now, and you're like, what do you think about it? I'm like, well, I'm an hour and 16 minutes into this, and I'm not impressed yet. And so like, the movie was too long to a degree for me, but if DC is going to not do what the MCU did and wants to catch up the DCEU right away, then yeah, it was needed and they had to do that. It did give you more of a background behind the characters. I actually think I like Cyborg more in this movie than in the original cut, if that makes any sense. I think Cyborg was really cool. He was a lot in more depth of his character. I think they should have done maybe the same thing with Flash a little bit. You know, not that like we all know who Flash is. Maybe Cyborg is a little bit more of a character that is not more well known to other people who are in the comic book world. But so yes, it's a little too long for 4 hours, but it is also needed for what Zack Snyder was going to do with the movie and to catch everybody up with who all these characters are.
Cool. Yeah, totally agree. Mikey?
Is 4 hours too long for this film? I'd probably say no. I think it was just about right. Like everyone's pointed out, there was lots of extra background given on the characters. There was some elongated scenes. that obviously you just didn't have in the original. And for someone that doesn't really follow DC, I was thankful for the fact that it gave some sort of background into, further background into the actual characters as well. And it sort of also made you sort of had more of emotional connection with the characters rather than the original cut, because you understand what they're doing. You know, you've got the whole Cyborg story going on, the whole torment within, you know, he's lost his mom, and you know, I don't know, a spoiler there, but obviously, you know, it's sort of placed, everybody was sort of in the film, it's strategically placed everybody where they needed to be in order to progress the movie. So you were given snippets, you know, with Cyborg. You know, there was a couple of times where it went back to the past, and then you know, to obviously tell you what was going to happen in that sort of next scene. So no, I don't think that 4 hours was too long. I think it was just about needed for this film. It wasn't something. I would say that obviously before you start watching this film, go to the toilet, get your snacks done. If you start it at breakfast time, be ready to eat your lunch afterwards. If you started at lunch, get ready to eat your tea. If you're eating your tea, get ready for bed afterwards. It's that sort of film. It just takes up your whole day.
Yeah. For me, I mean, we all binge watch TV shows now, so 4 hours is nothing really. I mean, if it was at the cinema, granted, you get one of those big, massive drinks. You guaranteed that you got to go to the toilet at some point, so you're going to miss something. But you obviously at the cinema, you can't rewind or pause it. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
In this case, I think it's perfect for home viewing.
So having it streamed was perfect. You know what I mean? Because, you know, everything with going on with the pandemic, not a lot of people want to go to the theater. I understand that. I'm one of those people right now. I don't want to go to the theater either. So having it streamed on HBO Max was the perfect way of watching it, especially for 4 hours. I mean, you know, like I think Mikey, who was the person who brought it up, you know, they had the chapters to break it up in the movie, which was nice. That I like that too, like having the different chapters, because then you could pause it, you know, go grab a snack, come back. You know what I mean? Oh, maybe it's a good time for me to go grab those peanuts now. You know what I mean?
Jason can't even go 40 minutes without going to the toilet.
Maybe.
But yeah,
peanuts.
4 hours is fine. You know, I watched it in 2 sittings, so I was happy. So let's go to the next question. So let's have a look. So what did we think was good about it? So I will go with Kev. What did you think was good about it, mate?
What was good about it? I liked the redesign of Steppenwolf. I thought he looked a lot more powerful and menacing, as he should have, compared to the first movie. So that was nice. What was also good about it is that Darkseid was actually in this movie, sort of to kind of set up a whole new threat if there was another movie or an extended to the Snyder universe. Having Henry Cavill with a regular mouth, I mean, you think that was probably going to be a given for the first movie, but obviously we couldn't even get that. But that was, you know, obviously nice to see with him in it, with a regular mouth, not a CGI animated mouth. Oh man, what else was good about it? I mean, for what they had for time, like kind of going back to the other question, is 4 hours too long? With the little time that they had for character development in this movie was really good too.
Yeah, just it was Jason's birthday the other day, so happy birthday, Jason, for the other day.
Thank you, and thank you, Harrison. It's great.
Happy birthday to you.
Plus, I had a little win, didn't I? I had a little prize on Ben's channel from the raffle.
You did, yeah. I think it was fixed, to be honest.
Little prize. It cost me £30 in shipping.
Yeah, because technically, mate, it is a different country, isn't it?
Half of them you ain't probably going to want, but he won a bundle of 40 comic books as part of the raffle for the Red Nose Day thing. So, Congratulations! What a 51st birthday present! Here's 40 comics.
Thank you, mate. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing them.
Yeah, there's some gems in there. You know, there's some really rubbish ones as well. But there's some gems in there.
Jace, you won 8 books from me as well in that because they're
the rubbish ones.
Yeah, probably.
To be fair, there were some decent ones actually. So yeah.
Thanks, Ben. What do you think was good about the Snyder Cut, mate?
Some of you guys touched on it, but Cyborg, for me, this cut just completely revolutionized his character in comparison to the original cut. I mean, apparently that actor was someone who has been quite outspoken about the way that Joss Whedon treated him on set as well. Quite poorly, I think. So he got really screwed in that first cut. And for me, similar to Mikey, I'm a kind of Marvel guy and a Batman fan. I don't really do the wider DC world. So I know who Cyborg is. You know, I know roughly his kind of backstory, but there wasn't really any investment for me in him as a character. And yeah, after the first cut, completely no investment. Do you know what I mean? Like, it just felt weird in the first cut. Like, here's a half robot man. Like, I hope you're on board. Like, there was kind of no like explanation or real kind of depth as to who he was. And you also, because you didn't get the as much of the flashback shots and stuff, you kind of just thought his personality was just wooden. You know, you just thought he was playing it in a very kind of wooden way. This cut, like, I think, and I must say as well, disclaimer, apologies, and people can correct me if I am wrong, because I'm at a point where I actually can't remember the first cut. Like, it's almost like I've erased my memory of the first cut. It was so much better.
You do not need to remember this. Goodbye.
Honestly, it's a blur now. So apologies if I am saying some wrong things, but I don't believe that was in the first cut. The whole scene with the woman trying to feed her kids and get through life.
Oh yeah, that was a great scene.
Yeah. It was superb, and it gave like it was a good kind of 10-15 minute chunk, but it gave such depth to Cyborg and to his kind of character motivations and intentions. And you know, we got to see him in college and stuff like that. And I just think that, like, I fell in love with Cyborg through the Snyder Cut.
Yeah.
And like, I am now kind of interested in picking up some Cyborg stories and stuff.
It's almost as though he, you know, you perceive him as being a robot, but underneath he's still got a heart. When he went and gave that money to that woman, it was like he feels the pain and he knows and he's doing something good. He's not just necessarily just a computer deciding that, because he was there and he was watching her reaction at the cash point as well. And he seemed to take joy in it. And he didn't go, oh, that's because of me. You know what I mean? Like Bruce Wayne would have done. But like literally, he just walked off silently. But he was happy.
It was beautiful, and it really gave an idea of the level of power that he has as well. The whole kind of, and obviously they did it in an abstract way where he essentially could control every bank in the world and unleash any kind of missile at any time and stuff. All that, like, I now know, one, how powerful Cyborg is, two, why he's so kind of messed up and you know, and three, you know, that kind of character intention and stuff. I mean, the relationship with his dad, again, I don't think we got enough of that in the first cut. And now I kind of get that he, you know, that kind of scientist part of his dad, he you know, fought against, and yet there was kind of a moment right towards the end where they kind of found that humanity within each other. And it was just beautiful. So that was kind of my biggest takeaway, I think. But yeah, the obvious stuff like Steppenwolf, it looked pants in the first one. And also, I can't remember if they even had the scenes in the first cut, but I feel like I got what Steppenwolf was trying to do in this more.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't really get why he was doing what he was doing, and I didn't really get the whole thing that he's a bit of a bitch Like, do you know what I mean? Like he's kind of the skivvy that they've kind of sent off to do the dirty work. And I that never really came across in the first one, but in this one I really got that. I mean, Darkseid, as a Marvel fan, you are sat there going, okay, so it's Thanos, right? You know, the boxes are the stones, and you know, but it just everything just came across so much better. And also, I think Flash benefited from having a little bit more time spent on him. So that was a whole scene we didn't see with the saving of the girl
of Iris. Yeah.
So that was awesome. I mean, I love his portrayal of Barry Allen, and interestingly enough, I think that's kind of what Evan Peters does really well as Quicksilver, where they almost, how would someone who's super quick speak and think? And it's quick and it's erratic, and he kind of really gets that, I think. So I like his version of the Flash, and the bit at the end with the whole reversing of time and stuff like that. Again, I feel like I got that more now, and now that I kind of get that, I'm excited for the Flash movie. Whereas before, because I didn't get it, my barriers went up, and it's like, oh no, I'm not bothered. Like, it's just completely like, for me, it's like I feel like a convert. I feel like a criminal who's like gone to church for the first time and decided that they are now a Christian.
Jace, Amanda,
right?
How'd you follow that?
Then? Was that real name, Dixon Cider? I don't know. I don't think that's I think that's a fake name. My apologies if it's a real name.
Yeah, it's like one of the Bart Simpson prank call names, isn't it?
Yeah. Amanda Hug and Kiss.
As Fink says what?
No, that's Wayne's World, isn't it?
I know.
Okay. I really, really enjoyed the new version because it had a much darker tone to it. There was blood, you know, when Wonder Woman in that scene, the bank heist scene, when she smashed someone up against the wall, there was an imprint to the wall of someone's head with blood running down. Darkseid, Steppenwolf was slicing through the Amazonians, cutting them in half. Blood. There were F-bombs left, right, and center, which I don't remember being any in the original.
No, there wouldn't have been no.
And it's always kind of cool seeing Batman say "fuck," isn't it?
I was like, I was blown away. I was like, oh, Batman said the F word. How could he?
Yeah. You know, that's never. And again, you want to see something you've never seen before, and that was new. So the whole tone, the exposition of the characters is brilliant. You know, obviously, Joss Whedon treated the character of Cyborg pretty shit. You know, I can't remember the actor's name. Who was it again?
Ray Fisher.
Ray Fisher, that's right. And you're right, Ray Fisher, he was pissed off about it, and you can understand why. And
we'll get to Joss Whedon, mate. Don't worry, we'll get to him. But you like Cyborg in this version a lot better.
Yeah, much better. Much better. I also liked the fight scenes and the action scenes seemed more engaging, and there was less humor. There was some funny bits in it, but there was less humor in it. Some bits had been taken out, which I think fitted the movie more. I mean, the bit where Aquaman was sat on the lasso of truth in the original movie, you know, that's been taken out. So it did change the whole movie for me, anyway.
I sort of missed the Pet Cemetery joke, though. I missed
Cemetery. Yeah, that was quite funny.
That was cut out, and I kind of missed that because I thought that part was kind of good. Like that made me happy. I was like, oh, no Pet Cemetery joke? Aw.
Amanda?
What did I like about the film? I found it more dynamic, and I do like films where there's, I suppose, like a slightly darker undertone as well. I mean, I like a lot of blood. I like violence. I like swearing.
You do?
You know, I get excited when film. I knew you do as well. I was like, yes, it's an 18 films because you know you're going to get.
Yeah, you're hoping for a bit of nudity, aren't you?
You are?
You're hoping for a bit of nudity with an 18. That's what you were.
Henry
Maybe.
Cavill. You
Well-
liked Henry Cavill with his top off, didn't you?
Everyone likes Henry Cavill with his top off.
It's like he's got a rug though on his chest. What's
No
that
one
about?
cares. No
I'm
one
a
cares.
Jason Momoa fan myself. My gosh, I'm just so glad they put it in slow motion. The sea splashing off his nipples. It was really beautiful.
Anyway,
It's a beautiful fight. I think Wonder Woman has redeemed herself because based on the last film that we saw, like the 1984, I was really disappointed. Oh my god! And Wonder Woman is quite badass, and in that sequence where she was in the bank, you know, she's still got a bit of compassion. You know, she's still to be nice, and then she's just like, nah, fuck you, and then she just smashes that guy against the wall.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
like why not? You know, and she looked badass. I think.
Yeah.
Obviously, Cyborg as well. People are talking a lot about Cyborg. New characters. Haven't we? We got new characters.
Yeah, we have. They
Well
came
then.
in. Yeah.
Oh, Kilowog. Kilowog in the. Did we all see that?
Yeah. Green Hornet, is that the one?
Green Hornet.
Green Lantern, sorry.
So they had that random ass Green Lantern, like from and he has got a name, but I don't know what it is.
weird.
Random monkey lantern guy. Anyone know his name in the chat? Then
I can't remember.
yeah.
it.
Please
get
help
out
me.
more.
Please help me now.
But Kilowog is there, and he's holding Batman's cow, isn't he? In the Nightmare Justice League, it's all knocked down, and Kilowog is there, which I loved. That was awesome.
Cool.
And obviously, the I guess one of the biggest character debuts was
Martian Manhunter.
Martian Manhunter.
Yeah,
But he's always been there, hasn't he? That's the thing. He's always been in the films that we just didn't know he was there.
we just didn't know. Yeah,
Just
definitely.
hiding in plain sight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of Martian Manhunter, I always had a feeling that dude was him.
Yeah, yeah.
Why?
Definitely.
Did his eyes glow red? I don't know. What? How did
No,
you know?
I don't, because like
He was in the mid. He's been in every film, hasn't he?
he's been in every film. Okay, that and this is just my opinion, but I think that guy would like kill it as Martian Manhunter, and he did do a good job. And so I just always thought like that he would always be in like a government position where he would have any sort of intelligence on Earth.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Ben, you've got an answer for your name, mate.
Oh yeah, who is it?
His name's
Dave. It was on the tip of my tongue.
That's all right. Kev, we already asked you what was good. Were you the first one, were you?
Yeah, I think I was. Yeah,
Yeah,
I definitely gave an answer.
Yeah.
It wasn't good enough. It was so forgettable.
Mikey?
Guys, does anybody know the first appearance of Martian Manhunter?
No. Do you know what it is?
Yeah.
What is it?
Comics
Is it?
225.
Oh.
225.
Detective
Yeah.
Comics 225.
November 1955. So might be a key issue if
Yeah.
they're looking to develop that character.
Well, he's going to be in it. Well, who knows what's going to happen?
It's open.
Sorry, Mikey. I interrupted.
That's all right. Don't worry.
Mikey, what do you think?
What did I think good about it? The character development. I also liked the backstory. Now I can't remember seeing this in the original one. You know where they actually show the original fight with Darkseid when he came to Earth and lost the battle. It was a
they
bit
did
like
the original film, but it was Steppenwolf in place of Darkseid.
all right. I missed things. I didn't realize that there was a Green Lantern dude helping with the the Amazonians and then obviously the Lanterns and the humans. And I completely forgot the story. To be fair, I was like thinking 3 boxes, 5 rings, 1 to rule them all. It was sort of had that sort of moment to it. And I was like, isn't this just like a little bit like Lord of the Rings? But again, it was a good fight off. And thing I liked about it, everybody loves blood and gore, don't they? Everybody wants to see someone chopped up or hit in the face and there's blood. And that's what you want. And that's something that Marvel doesn't go to the extreme to do. So literally to see it in DC, it's like, maybe these scenes a little bit more grown up and they can get away with it. And people are saying, oh, but I think the rating on this film was a 15, wasn't it? So I think there was only so much that they could get away with, and I was quite surprised there was a couple of F-bombs in there. But you know, the blood and gore, yeah, it definitely added to the actual effects. You actually literally like, yes, especially with dude when he's Amazonians, you just like snarf and you go, he's meaning business.
Snarf.
Yeah.
Snarf.
Yeah. So for me, the film, what was good about the film was character development. So Cyborg, he was awesome in the movie. Totally in the first movie, he had no story whatsoever. He was just a character. The Flash in this movie, I found him quite annoying. I'll be honest. In the Whedon cut, this, you know, two things stick out for me in this film is when he called Superman his hero, and when he used his Speed Force to save the day at the end. I mean, throughout the movie, he was like a clumsy, you know, new to being a superhero.
He was annoying in the first movie.
Yeah, but like he totally redeemed himself in the end. Because if I don't know if you remember, in the Whedon cut, right, he had the Flash pushing a family away from.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought we didn't see that family even.
They weren't even
see
in
them, did we?
And like he was totally useless in the fight in that first cut, but in this cut, he, you know,
he was essential.
He was essential, wasn't he? So
yeah,
you know, I'm really happy with his development, and Steppenwolf as well. First film did it. I didn't feel like he was an actual threat. You know, with this movie now, you've got Darkseid in the background as a real presence, and we understand obviously Steppenwolf's motivation for getting the 3 mother boxes, and it feels a lot more that you invested in it, and you understand exactly why each character is doing what they're doing, and
it gave it more of a threat on why Steppenwolf was on Earth, and to mess shit up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it was like, you know, there's some of the stuff that Whedon's cut out of it. I just don't understand why. I'm still perplexed, but you know, I just really enjoyed it, and I felt like it had like an epicness to the movie. Like, you know, first time you're watching Lord of the Rings, or dare I say, even like Avengers Endgame, and you know, it felt like it was there with those movies of, you know, you invested and you're enjoying it, and you don't give a shit what anyone else thinks. So that's what felt for me.
I just swore online.
And also the best line in the whole movie is, "And make no fucking mistake, I will kill you." That interaction at the end. That was just
that
like,
nightmare sequence at the end, just in general, has to be highlighted as one of my.
Yeah, I just want like, and the Joker literally holding the card after Batman said that to him. He's like actually physically scared that Batman is going to kill him.
So if you notice that there was an Easter egg there, because when he gives him like that card, that's the card that we see on his gun in the Batman versus Superman nightmare scene.
Yeah, and I don't know if you noticed, like for a split second you'll see it, but when Cyborg has that vision when he plugs into like the mother box to resurrect. Plugs into the Kryptonian ship, doesn't he, to bring back Superman. He has like that vision, doesn't he? And you see the card and it's cut in half. Mm-hmm. So obviously Batman breaks his truce with him or whatever.
So good to get Jared Leto kind of having a bit of redemption as well, because I think fans have been really quite harsh about a version of the Joker that we've only really seen snippets of in a really crap film. Like Suicide Squad is a bad film by all accounts, and Harley Quinn is kind of Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn has had the chance to kind of redeem herself in other films and versions, and we never really got that opportunity with the Jared Leto Joker. So even though it's just one kind of speech, it was just so nice to kind of see him finally go, right, this is my Joker. And I was living for it. I thought it was so kind of uncomfortably intense, and his laugh was such a kind of creepy original take on that laugh. And tattoos or no tattoos, I'm here for the Jared Leto Joker.
I'm still not sold on it, to be honest.
Ooh,
I'm still not sold on it.
Hit that one in the chest. Well,
Right in the clown heart.
Jeff, funny you should say that, mate, because that brings us into our next thing. So what was bad about it? And seeing it as Kev was so vocal then.
It'll go on for an hour now.
No, we won't go on too long. No, I mean, the things that I dislike about this movie are very small, but they do add up. Okay, so first off, when I started watching this movie, we get a title saying that this movie's in 4:3 ratio. That instantly made me so mad. I was like,
oh man,
why? Like, if I'm going to see these characters on screen, okay, I want to see all of them. Like, I want to see, if I'm going to, especially Batman, if I'm going to see Batman on screen, I want to see everything about Batman. I don't want this cube. I don't want to see black bars on the side of my screen. I want the whole picture filling my screen. So that was one of my one of my biggest complaints. Another complaint is, Zack Snyder to me has always been a hit or miss for me in movies, and so having this movie be 4 hours long, I know how much Zack Snyder loves his slow motion shots or his slow motion scenes, and that just drove me insane. So, like, by the time we're seeing Cyborg playing football, I'm like, oh, here comes another slow motion scene. Boom, there it is. Mike called it. There it is. There's another slow motion scene. So, like, it goes on and on and on, and that was another thing that just, like, I was like, oh man, like, this movie's long enough, man. Like, why are we seeing another slow motion part? What other things? I mean, there's really not too much, really, but like, I'm there watching it. It is long a little bit, Jared Leto. We were kind of like cut a little bit here for the next question. Jared Leto, I'm still not sold on. I mean, it was better of a performance, but it's not enough to make me be like, that's so much better. Superpower reviews and angry man. I am. Listen, Perpetual, when I like things, I'm going to, blurt it out on why I love it. When it's something on sort of like, it's whatever. So, like, here's the other thing, okay? I think I would actually have a different tune about this movie if it wasn't for the first cut. You know what I mean? So I think if this was the first initial Justice League movie that, that everyone has seen for the first time, I think I would have a different opinion. So going into this, again, I had very low expectations. And at the end of it, I was like, okay, that is better. This is a better movie, okay? But it wasn't worth 4 hours of my time.
Yeah. Okay.
That's it.
That's fair point. Jason and Amanda, or Amanda and Jason.
Well, I can't really think of anything that's particularly bad about it, to be honest. Nothing really sort of like springs to mind. I know what Kev's saying about like the slow motion stuff, but that doesn't even faze me that much. I don't know. Maybe it could have gone a little bit darker, I suppose, because like the nightmare scenes at the end were really good, and that was quite intriguing as well. I think maybe if we had something more like that.
You wanted to be even darker.
I want to go dark. I just want to go.
Wow.
Here's a question for you.
Dark. All night.
Here's a question for you. So, when Batman's talking to the Joker and he refers to Harley Quinn dying in his arms, is that a reference to the Batman killing her, or Batman being in love with her at some point and having a relationship and her dying in his arms and shit? Because he said that you've never loved anybody.
I didn't initially get that feeling, to be honest. I had a feeling that Harley Quinn maybe switched sides and was against the Joker and teaming up with Batman, and Joker killed her.
Yeah.
So that's how I took it. So like I didn't even think about the way that you just presented it, to be honest. But I felt that Batman had a connection with Harley Quinn because maybe she did. Maybe he was able to cure her of her sanity a little bit, and kind of shed some light on her. And then she was a valuable player to the good team. And when Joker just was like, maybe Joker didn't like that, and Batman's playing around with his little plaything, and took her out. I don't know. That's how I took it.
Yeah.
I think, James, you've been looking at too much of like weird fan art on Instagram. Batman kissing everyone. No, I just read into that she they clearly, the lines of like villains and bad guys was kind of that wasn't there anymore in this kind of nightmarish land. So I kind of just read into it that there was a battle at some point and she died. We already know that in that universe she hates Joker. Do you know what I mean? So I guess I just kind of read into it that like, she obviously despised him, and Joker doesn't love Harley anyway.
Yeah,
but that's a whole nother discussion.
Yeah, I just read too much into it.
Can someone explain to me then why Batman is having these dreams?
Because he's cursed with knowledge.
He had too much cheese before bedtime.
Go on, Kev. Go on.
I think the reason why Batman is having these bad dreams is it all started with Superman coming to Earth. Superman is here to save the day, but what does that ultimately mean, having this powerful person on Earth, and what could happen in a different universe or in this universe with him sticking around with all these powerful beings that know that he's here or he's not here and making us a weak target.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Jace, anything that you thought was bad about it?
I think it's pretty much been covered, guys, to be honest with you. Yeah, there's the slow motion shots, isn't there? But that's Zack Snyder's trademark, very much like with Michael Bay, where he has those long slung shots that spin around. As you got Will Smith and Martin Lawrence coming out the car going in slow motion, and things blowing up. So that's just trademark. I mean, with 300, which I personally absolutely loved. That was a great movie. Cool. And you had this Sparta. Yeah. When he's throwing that spear and it goes into slow motion, zooms in, and
that's cool though.
Yeah, yeah, very sort of Matrix-esque, I suppose. That's just his style, and it does draw it out a little bit. And I do get what Ged's saying. Yeah. As far as the rest of the movie, I don't know. It's hard to criticize.
Yeah,
because maybe I'm riding on a wave of euphoria at the moment because I'm so pleased the way it turned out. We didn't have high expectations for this movie, and maybe my judgment's clouded. And maybe if it does get a cinematic release and it hits theaters, I would go and watch it in the theater.
So let's go watch it together.
Oh, that's right. It didn't come out in theaters in England, right?
No.
Is it out of theaters there, mate?
I thought it was.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Nothing's open.
I'm sort of kind of under a rock too. So.
Then, anything you thought was bad about it?
I think I'm very similar to Jason in the sense that like I am in that state of euphoria. I watch things, and if I like it, I like revert back to the state of like a 11-year-old boy, like where I'm just like, no, I just love it. So I'm finding it hard to like. Amber Heard. There you go.
Oh man, that
was isn't it? She had a change of accent, didn't she? She had a British accent in this film.
Like Cyborg's half robot, and he's got more to him. But yeah, she's bad. Also, I think as much as I loved the nightmare scene, as much as I loved, seeing Marvin the Martian or whatever he's called, it all felt a little bit shoehorned in at the end. It all felt a little bit like that whole epilogue or whatever was. It was very kind of it felt a bit gratuitous and a bit kind of like
fan service, isn't it?
it's Zack Snyder's like desperate attempt to try and kind of launch this DCEU, to compete with the MCU, when unfortunately when that film came out, like it just wasn't like that DC universe was going for a fraction of the time that the Marvel universe had been going in terms of like ongoing stories and stuff. So I think the sooner that DC kind of swallow the fact that they're never going to compete with that, and stop kind of trying to create a universe and just create independent stories. And I think comics are a little bit the same these days at the moment, if I may say so. I think the better, really, because it's almost like that Nightmare film, that Nightmare sequence or whatever. I'd kind of like to see as a film just by itself, just like
I'd consider that, yeah.
Well, yeah, that'd be a great idea if they did that for a film.
Yeah,
just what happened if it didn't
DC
happen.
Apocalypse or something. Just call it DC Apocalypse and make like an alternative future version of DC, and So, but no, I'm finding it hard because I bloody loved it.
Fair play. Mikey?
What didn't I like about it?
Mikey's just like, well, first off, I don't like DC.
I didn't think that maybe the epilogue was needed. When you got to the point in the film where you thought, this is the film is over, surely they can't go any extra, and then they add the epilogue on, which is like an extra 15 minutes. I felt it was bad placement for the Cyborg storyline, where he reconstructs the tape from his dad and he says, I've been your father twice. I brought you into this world and now I've brought you back from the dead to be in this world. Because say that because he sort of flips on his head, doesn't he, halfway through the film, and you're not quite sure why, because his dad came into the apartment, he didn't want to know him, and then the next thing is he's in a bit of trouble, and he's like, yeah, okay then, Dad, and then he's like, he shows a bit more emotion to his dad, and we didn't really understand as to why, so maybe that should have been brought in a bit earlier. I didn't think it needed to be left to the end. To be fair,
I think it was for me. I think it was.
You either add it in at an appropriate time, or you just don't have it at all. There's no way to end with that, is there really?
Well, yeah.
Did you see what I mean? I don't pretend to know a lot about DC, but I thought that. No, don't get me wrong. I don't know if this was in the original because I can't remember it. But like literally, Wonder Woman takes this massive headbutt off Superman, and she gets up as though nothing's happened. How powerful is Wonder Woman?
She's powerful, man.
Yeah, but to take a headbutt off Superman.
Take a headbutt from a man. Gosh,
it's Superman. I'm not being funny, but it's Superman.
Yeah,
I think it's literally like you might as well have just dropped a train on her head.
Yeah.
she just went, oh, I'm gonna go back up. I was like, what?
Yeah. The only thing for me that I thought was bad was I kind of felt that Superman wasn't really a big part of the movie. I know he's out of the movie for the majority.
Probably why I liked it.
Oh, I mean, what you got to remember about Superman is like one of the most OP, characters there are out there, and he's got the shittest weakness going. But yeah, I think for the story, I think if he was around from the beginning, wouldn't be the same story. But even
Kevin, is your wall laced with kryptonite as well? Can I just check while we're on the subject?
Yeah, man. Superman don't want to come here, bro. I'm ready. All right. I got the martial arts training, kryptonite walls. He comes in here, he's done, dude.
Yeah. And I think, let me drag it. I think Amber Heard, I don't like the fact that she had a lot more screen time in this movie than previously. And like, totally agree with Amanda. What was her accent, man? It was dreadful. She's a terrible actress. And
as soon as she came on, I was just like, oh, that.
Yeah. I think, if there's any truth to any of the whatever's going on between her and Johnny Depp, not only is she a terrible actress, she's a terrible human being. So, but Yeah. So
Oh man,
It's out
there we
there
go.
now,
We're now going to be sued. We're going to be closed down. This is the
defamation.
last broadcast from MJ
I
Comics
said
ever.
if there's any truth. So there's my.
The thing is, it's like Amber Heard, like all of that stuff aside, she's bad in this film. All of the Joss Whedon stuff aside, he made a terrible cut of this film. So whatever however awful people are outside of their art, if the art's crap, let's tell them.
Yeah, definitely. So let's bring it in then to our next bit.
What's that?
Right. So, who is your most valuable player? But before I ask that, for anybody watching, I will drop the link in a bit. So when we get to our scores at the doors, you can come on and quickly give your opinion at the end of the show if you want, if there's anybody's interested at all and jumping on and having a go.
Oh, wow.
So let's go with Mikey. Who was your MVP?
Easy. Cyborg completely changed my opinion. He was wooden, wasn't he, in the original, and this one, he even though he's a robot, you didn't get the feeling that he was. He still had a heart under all of that, and I loved it. It just completely changed the character for me, and the fact he can do half of the stuff that he can do, control all the banks, all the nukes, everything. He makes him like one of the probably the best, the one you wouldn't want to mess around with, because literally Bruce has all that money. Fuck Cyborg off. Your money's gone, isn't it, Bruce? You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, fair enough. Kev?
This is hard for me to kind of decide who's the MVP. Okay, so like, I think there's, oh man, this is so tough. Okay, so like MVP is definitely Cyborg. Okay, they shelled him out a lot in the movie. They gave him so much more depth than the first cut, and so Cyborg was interesting. Cyborg was cool. So, but like, here's the other thing. Okay, this is when like I totally fell in love with this movie. I am nowhere near a Superman fan. I don't like Superman. Henry Cavill as Superman, different story for me. So having Superman come back and finally seeing him in the black suit, the regenerative suit, okay, I was drinking a beer while watching this movie. I put my beer like this, and I just started clapping. Had my headphones on, and my wife was right next to me. She's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, you wouldn't understand. Like, this is right here, okay? Like, that was one of the biggest things that I was waiting for the first cut. So seeing him in that black suit was absolutely amazing. Seeing Superman do what he does best, which is just be Superman, was awesome to see. And was it you, James, that you said that Superman wasn't highlighted as much?
Yeah, I felt like, I mean, especially when you compare it to the Whedon version, they went big on Superman at the end of that one. He was the one that effectively saved the day. But whereas in this movie, it was a combination of Cyborg, Flash, and a little bit of Superman. And
so I will agree with you that, yeah, Superman wasn't in it as much, but I like that. Okay, because again, as you brought up, Superman is over OP'd. We all know that Superman is OP'd. So this is like the underdogs here. Like, you got a King of Atlantis. Yeah, you have a Wonder Woman who's a Amazonian and stuff. She's powerful, but they're not compared to Superman. Superman could take on anything, while you got these group of guys trying to not only bring back Superman, who could help them ultimately, but I think it was best that Superman was in to do some of the harder stuff, but they were all in it together as a team and trying to bring back Superman and take on Steppenwolf. So I think I think that's why we didn't see too much Superman, because if we saw more of Superman, then it wouldn't be so much of a Justice League movie, maybe, because then it's just going to turn into a
Superman
movie, right?
Exactly.
And Superman's just going to be taking care of everything and saving everybody. But I think I kind of like the balance of them trying to, again, revive Superman. Superman just coming in heavy hitting. I mean, when he fought Steppenwolf, like Steppenwolf was nothing to him.
Wipes the floor of him, doesn't he?
He wipes the floor of him. I'm just like, yes, I like it. You know what I mean? So, so this was one of the main things that like really turned me on this movie. This was like my moment of the movie. So when I texted James, I'm an hour and 60 minutes in this movie, I'm not impressed yet. As soon as I saw Superman be revived, go through the pet cemetery scene and put on the regenerative suit, that was my moment. You know, like I said, I had my beer, clapping my hands, shaking my head like, yes, bravo. And my wife like, what are you doing? You're at home. Why are you clapping? Like, just no, stop. Let me have this moment. You don't understand.
Kev, were you a fan of Man of Steel then?
Yes, I really was. I mean, so like I said, again, not a Superman fan. I've read a few Superman books, but I think Superman's just so OP that he's boring. But Man of Steel made Superman cool for me, and I thought, Henry Cavill and what Zack Snyder did with Superman has been the best Superman we've seen.
Yeah, so I totally agree with you, mate. Let's bring in Jason and Amanda.
I've got mine. You go first.
No, I don't know who mine is.
Okay, for me, it's Flash, isn't it? Come on.
Hey, my boy Flash.
Well, 2 reasons. He brought Superman back to life.
Yep.
Right. Secondly, he saved the world. He saved the fucking world.
It went backwards.
He went back that time, stopped the explosion.
Yeah, Superman can do that.
No, what he did.
Superman can fly
So
around the world.
he didn't know, did he? He didn't. Flash did it. So for me, he's the MVP. He absolutely saved everybody.
The thing is about the film, it's a team effort, isn't it?
They're asking me who my MVP is. I'm not the team. It's on the team.
There's no I in Team Jace. Everybody knows that.
There's no team in Flash.
No. It was Flash. And he brought a little bit of humor. He brought a little bit, that moment where he saved his future wife. Spoiler. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it Eliza or something? I can't remember.
Iris.
Iris.
Yeah. Iris West, is it?
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Okay. I was thinking of Batman.
What, me? No.
No, what was it? Adam West, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's weird. Okay, yeah. So for me, absolutely Flash. Just saying.
That's right. It's good, valid points. I mean, you do. Yeah. I mean, if you really look at it the way that Jason says it, yeah, he should be the MVP because he saved all of them at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Cyborg, he went in.
He's
They
the one
literally
who
lost. They lost. The movie was over, and Flash just went, let's try again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, guys, why is my head really big and tiny little arms?
You got that Modar, didn't you?
I'm like that. I got that TikTok thing, when they have a big bobblehead.
It's Momo.
I'm just gonna get back to forced perspective there.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely Flash, guys. Definitely.
Yeah. Amanda?
No, you don't agree. Are you gonna say Wonder Woman?
I should say Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
But do you know what? I just don't have a favorite.
Oh.
What?
I don't even think Aqua is my favorite.
I don't know what he brought to the table, really.
He was he didn't really do much except stab thingy through the heart, Steppenwolf. That was the only thing he added.
That was a great scene, though, wasn't it? And then he flung it back, and then you had
it.
Wonder Woman with the.
That's what I'm saying.
sword.
It's a team effort.
Yeah.
That was, yes.
You even notice how the diehard Batman fans didn't even say Batman, and he was the one that brought the team together.
Who's the diehard Batman fan?
Oh, I believe there's 3 of them here.
Yeah, because Batman, he was a bit inconsequential.
Yeah.
Is that the word?
Incontinent?
No, that's what you are tonight. No. Yeah, Batman, I don't think he was particularly impressive in the film. Like I said, he brought the team together, but like, big wow, you know?
Yeah,
Anyone
when
can
you
go
think-
around to recruit.
Big wow.
Big wow.
When you think about it, Amanda, he's not he doesn't have any powers like the rest of them. So
Yeah,
in a fight-
I have to agree with Amanda a lot here. I really do. I mean, you can have Batman with no superpowers all day in a cartoon, but when you actually put him on live screen, he is outshadowed a lot, actually.
Yeah.
Money is his superpower.
That's it. He's
Yeah.
rich.
Yeah, I'm rich. Ben?
I'm just really hurt, guys. How you feeling?
Although I am really looking forward to the new Batman film. Definitely.
Can I get on that subject? There's a bit right at the end where they climb the the big tower that they've been fighting in, and like they're all stood up there, like everyone, like Aquaman, Wonder Woman. Batman's climbing, and they let him climb.
I know. I remember they just lifted him up at the last minute. No, come on then.
I know, just gives him a hand at the end.
Blown out of his
He got mugged off. I would say the MVP for me, on a personal note, is Lex Luthor for representing bald people throughout the world. It's got to be Cyborg for me in terms of just what made an impact on me from that film. I was kind of halfway there after watching Teen Titans Go with Cyborg as he let out his. Does anyone watch Teen Titans Go?
Booyah!
It's hilarious. But yeah, no, so I was halfway there, but this film is like fully kind of got me on board for Ray Fisher as an actor, full stop, also for Cyborg. So I think obviously Flash is in the works, which is great, and that's going to be amazing, and Michael Keaton Batman, and oh my God, don't even. But Cyborg, I really want a Cyborg film. If we're going to get anything out of this, I want a Cyborg film. So yeah,
cool. So we've had somebody. We've got to introduce first onto the channel. We've got Triple G Comics, and it's Peter. Welcome, Pete.
Hi, everybody. You all right?
How you doing, buddy? You all right? Thanks for joining us.
All right. I've spent 4 hours today watching this film with my son. Hated the first version of it, but I have to say I'm converted. Really enjoyed it. Really
well done, buddy.
I have to pick Jason. My one big gripe for it is I'm a huge Flash fan. I don't know who was in this film. That's not Barry Allen. It's not Wally West. I don't recognize the character.
Quicksilver.
Yeah, probably right. Yeah. And
I personally think I would have to agree. I think we could maybe find a better actor for the Flash. To be honest,
I was watching it with my son, and the one thing he pointed out, he says, "Has Flash actually hit anybody in this film? Has he fought anybody?"
No, he just pushes people.
Pushes them over.
I mean, there's one scene in the sewer where literally he kind of ushers people up a staircase, and that's it.
Yeah.
I
mean, he does save the day, mate.
He does. I love the ending. I absolutely love the ending, I have to say. And I think the last hour of the film is absolutely tremendous.
That's right, mate. Who's your MVP?
It has to be Cyborg, but I don't like saying that. Well, I don't know. I think all the stuff with the Joss Whedon stuff and everything, and I don't know what the ins and outs are, but it kind of soured us to the actor a little bit. So, yeah.
Fair enough. That's fine, mate. For me, my MVP. Oh, well, let me put me across. My MVP. I mean, it's either going to be Cyborg or Flash. Let's be honest, but I think there's a special mention for this guy because without the improvement on Steppenwolf, this movie would be just as bad as the Whedon cut. But yeah, it's for me. I really enjoyed Cyborg's character development in it massively, but for me, I'm sorry, Pete, but it's the Flash. I just like, in comparison to the other movie, it was a lot better for me, and it ultimately saving the day. If it wasn't for Flash, he's the most valuable player for me. So let's move on to the next bit because I know we're an hour and a half here, so I'm going to try and speed this up a little bit.
Sorry, let's make it 2.
Let's make it,
You should have me on.
Let's make it 4 hours.
make it 4 hours.
It's inevitable.
Now we're
Having me
gonna
on.
play the film, people.
Is everyone okay with it making it 4 hours? Because I'll try my best.
No, we're going to play the film after this, aren't we? And then we're all going to watch it with us watching it.
Right. Next
Fancy.
question.
All right. The DC.
So, what do we think, people? Do we think that this is the end of the DCEU, as in terms of after the original version, Warner Brothers said that they'd only do individual solo films. So, are we going to see?
I'm gonna be a hypocrite. It's my special power. Even though I said about DC doing individual films is going to be the way forward, I do think that this cut has opened the door for the potential of a DC universe to rise from the ashes like a phoenix, because I think before this it's been all over the shop, let's be honest. I mean, between Suicide Squad, Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey, Wonder Woman 80 foot, nothing correlates. Aquaman, nothing connects up. So I feel like this could potentially start something that could connect up. But then saying that, the new Suicide Squad film apparently is going to not link to anything. I think James Gunn wants it to stand by itself. We've obviously got the Batman coming out, which again is going to be completely, whole new cast and everything which is a shame, because I would have loved to have seen Batfleck in a Batman film. But so I think they're still going to try. I think it might get a bit painful down the road, but I do think they're still going to try.
Yeah, fair enough. Anybody else? Anyone got?
I think if they've got the right director and there's money to be made, then I can't see any reason. And I think it will all depend on the popularity of this cut. If they can see that, the fans have demanded it, they've given the fans what they wanted. So why can't they give the fans what they want going forward?
Stole the words right from my mouth. Yep.
Yeah,
sure.
Exactly. If there's money to be made, then they will be there. They're in the Warner Brothers are there to make money. So and they have to entertain us by doing that. Otherwise, we won't go and see any sequels or any spin-offs for it. So it's really in their best interest to put something out there and to make sure it's top-notch stuff and not that rubbish that we saw first time round.
Yeah.
It left me wanting more. It left me wanting to see what happens in the future and all that stuff. So I really do hope they do more. The other thing I thought, and I don't know whether it was just my memory playing tricks, but at the very end, when you see Batman standing on the Bat tank thing, it looked very similar design to Dark Knight Return tank.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, no, 100%.
And I really kind of thought, wow, I would love to see Affleck do a proper version of Dark Knight Returns. I think that would be brilliant.
Yes,
that'd be great.
With a female Robin as well and everything. Can you imagine?
Yeah. Hey, stop getting me too excited here. Right?
Fair enough.
Oh, sorry.
Go on, mate. Go on. You got.
So, I think it would be really silly for Warner Brothers not to continue this. Again, just like Mikey said, the fans wanted it. The Snyder Cut happened. If the fans kept on pushing maybe a little bit more, I think, we would get more of a DCEU that we've expected. Listen, let me say this, okay? As a DCEU movie, when it comes to having all these characters together, this is one of the more solid movies. This is one of the most solid movies as a superhero team up on the DC side. Yeah. And the other thing that has going for this DCEU is the cast. I think Warner Brothers would be silly to just kind of dispose these actors and actresses very fast, not to continue to do this, because again, I mean, this is just my opinion, but we have Ben Affleck as Batman, who I think personally is the best Batman. for me, he plays the part so well. He looks so great in that suit. You have Jeremy Irons as Alfred, who I think is a perfect choice. He's sort of like the edgier kind of Alfred that we've ever seen.
I loved getting to see more Alfred in this film as well.
Yes,
especially
true.
making tea. That's just
Yeah, when he was teaching Wonder Woman how to make tea.
So, like, I mean, there's so much going for it. Like, you know, Zack Snyder is a good director. He is. I mean, you know, I'll say it again. He might not be my style of a movie all the time, but he's a good filmmaker. And so, like I said, like if you have this filmmaker with all of these great actors that people are excited to see on screen wearing these costumes and suits, you know what I mean? Why not do it? Why not make the movie and give the fans what they really want? So I think they're going to continue on with it, and if they don't, I think they would be really silly. And if they don't, is this even real? Like, what was the point in making this in the first place?
Exactly. I totally agree, mate. And I think that ultimately, why have they released it? Why have they pumped in $70 million for Zack Snyder to finish
exactly?
It's to make money, and let's be honest, it took favourable reviews, so I think we might get more. Hopefully, I don't know if it will be Zack Snyder still, but hopefully they'll continue on with the current story. Maybe.
True. So. And I want to also, because you brought up a good point too. You know, Warner Brothers added $17+ million into this. It's not only to make money, because that's what the ultimate goal is. But when Warner Brothers did this made me think differently about Warner Brothers, because this was obviously, hey, Zack Snyder went through a traumatic, life event with losing his daughter. He was passionate about this movie. He's passionate about these characters. Let's give this to him. He truly deserves it. You know what I mean? He truly deserves it. The fans deserve it. Let's do this for him. And I thought that was really good on Warner Brothers' part to do that.
Well, funny.
And in return, I think he's done it for us as well. As a result, I think the result is just unbelievable.
Yeah, touche.
I think to say
he'd already done it for us. We just had a subpar version of it.
Yeah, and that brings us on to our next point, which is
Or you could have said, why is Joss Whedon such a...
Yeah, you had a bit of connection issues there, mate. I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, I've dropped out, I think. I've dropped out a little bit.
I think, why did he cut so many good things out from the original? Example number one is, when Wonder Woman saves the kids at the Old Bailey, the little girl that comes up to her and says, I want to be like you one day, and Wonder Woman turns around to her and says, you can be whatever you want to be.
So was that not in the first film? Because I couldn't remember.
It wasn't in the first film, no.
And
that part was so beautiful.
That was such an important moment for little girls, like everywhere.
But that kind of shows really what Joss Whedon thought about it. Like he didn't have the same opinion.
This makes me genuinely upset, but because Joss Whedon's the exact opposite to that, or that's how he's been portrayed. If you look at Buffy the Vampire Slayer, it was all about champion women, and I think he's done some tremendous work. I mean, Jason and Amanda mentioned Cabin in the Woods earlier, an outstanding film. Avengers 1, superb. Avengers 2, pretty good. I just don't understand what's happened here. I don't get why he's gone so, and I don't think he'll ever recover from this and everything that's happened after. I think he's completely screwed himself up, to be honest.
Yeah, a huge dent in his career for sure.
Yeah, massively.
I think this kind of goes along this what we first said in the beginning. He was trying to make the DCEU into something that it isn't. He was trying to make it Marvel. He was trying to give it the Marvel flavor. Like, I've done Avengers, let me take on the DCEU now. With Batman having these, comical relief moments, which, I remember seeing that in the movie, and I was just like, what is that? Batman wouldn't say that. You know what I mean? And just cutting everything out again, like, to make my portion short, he was trying to make it everything that it wasn't. It works for the MCU because it's the MCU. That's sort of what they kind of bring to the table, not the DCEU.
I think, what I want to know was why on earth would someone disrespect Zack Snyder so much after what he's gone through?
Exactly.
You know, if someone's taking over a project, right, you would pay homage to what he wanted, what his vision was. You wouldn't come in, steamroller, everything, cut 2 hours from the movie, do a load of reshoots with stupid fucking mustaches, right? It's a fucking insult. I'm furious about it.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
It's just
No. His daughter died, right?
Yeah.
His daughter died. He's going through a hell of a time. And can you imagine him rolling up at the theatre to see the premiere? He's there going, "What the fuck's happened to my movie?"
Yeah, I don't think he's seen it, guys. I don't think he's seen it.
He didn't need to.
It's
No,
true.
he didn't.
It's going to make my head go really big.
No, I think he's just probably got a massive ego, hasn't he? That's all.
Yeah.
Joss?
Yeah.
I mean, he was just pretty much like, okay, let's pretend like Snyder is not existent, and he had nothing to do with this movie, and I came in to save the day. You know what I mean? I came and saved the Justice League movie. I did this, that, blah, blah, blah. Like, I made this movie go out on time, kind of, do this a little bit to me. You know what I mean?
So you're saying that, but this is where I think Warner Brothers should have just stopped production for a bit, because they would have had to have seen snippets of the film to understand what was going on, so they were getting their money's worth. Because so parts of the film would have been reviewed continuously, and if it was that great, why didn't they just stop production and just wait?
Right. And I would have, you know what I mean? I would have, with everything that happened with Zack Snyder and having the movie put on hold, I would have waited 4 movies for this movie. Okay.
Yeah.
I would have much rather waited 4 years for this movie, because again, if the first cut kind of tarnished this movie for me, and if I would have so much different of an opinion on this movie if I had not seen the original first cut. You know what I mean? So that's why when I was like 4 hours, this movie's not really worth it for me, because I saw the first cut. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's kind of my stand on it.
Yeah.
Ben?
It's hard. Like, I'm similar to Double D. What's your name? Triple G. Sorry, dude. In the, like, I am a massive Joss Whedon fan, and recently, there's been a whole barrage of reports and statements from people about his behaviours on set, off set. And it's quite alarming, to be honest, and it's sad. It is sad, because it is someone that I have kind of looked up to as a storyteller, from being a young Buffy fan onwards, really, and Astonishing X-Men, one of my favourite X-Men runs. But anyway, so I think that first cut is almost like I think if you behave that way, it shows in the work. Do you know what I mean? Like, a happy set will show a good result, and in a way, it's almost like, well, yeah, that's what you get for being a dick. It's sad though, because we now have to call this the Snyder Cut, whereas really, you just want to call it Justice League.
Yeah.
But we never will. It'll always be known as the Snyder Cut. So, or Zack Snyder's Justice League, as they're calling it. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a shame. It's
true, because if you go like maybe fast forward 5 years, 6 years from now, you'd be like, hey, have you ever watched the Justice League? And people are going to be like, which one? You know what I mean? Are you talking the original cut or the Zack Snyder cut? And yeah, the title is Zack Snyder's Justice League, but everyone's going to refer to as the Zack Snyder cut.
Yeah.
Here's a good example as well of Edgar Wright originally wrote like Ant-Man and was going to be, helming that film. And he left production and fell out with Marvel, all of this stuff. But Peyton Reed, I think, still honors Edgar Wright in that film, and especially the bit where like Louis is reeling off, the story. That is so Edgar Wright. Do you know what I mean? It's almost like a little tribute to him. So I think that's a great example that if you are taking a project from someone, just at least try and tribute or homage their work in some way. Right. And there was no attempt at that in that first cut.
Yeah. Did you guys notice that at the end of the credits, it was in memorial of his daughter?
Yeah.
That was lovely. That was. I think for me, especially for Joss Whedon, like yourself, Ben, I was a big Joss Whedon fan. Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I grew up in my teenage years. We were watching that, and I think for me, especially people like Ray Fisher, who was quite outspoken towards Josh and certain members of like DC, Warner Brothers, like VP presidents and all that stuff. Ray Fisher got really done over in the first cut. Then Joss Whedon made his character like give him a backseat completely, and to understand why, if you worked on something so hard and then to see the final product and you're hardly in it and you don't understand why. I can understand why, why Ray Fisher has been acting the way he has. And you can kind of see, with the other cast members there were reports that, Ray Fisher went up to Joss Whedon and asked him if he could change certain lines or something. Mm-hmm. And Whedon turned around and apparently said, Robert Downey Jr. never even did. I didn't even do that for Robert Downey Jr. Why would I even do that for you? Which it's pretty slack, and
that's like a backhand, like bam.
Yeah. And apparently, with all the reshoots, Joss Whedon had always had to have. This is rumors. I don't know how true it is, but he always had to have studio representatives with him when he spoke to members of the cast. And you can kind of see like the stuff that he made them redo. Like for me, when Superman's reunited with Lois and his mom Martha, and they're on the Kent farm and they're having that big emotional scene, Whedon didn't use any of that. He put in his own dialogue for that. So that's literally like saying like a big, to Zack Snyder and saying, I don't like that dialogue. It's not good enough. I'm going to put my own in. And it was terrible. Right. He's come along with a massive ego off the back of Avengers 1 and 2 and just completely
his head got big.
But unfortunately, mate, you had a bit of shit attached to your foot as well. So
but here's the other thing too. I can understand why Ray Fisher would get so mad because he is essentially the underdog in the casting of this movie. This movie could make or break his career. Yeah. And that first cut, unfortunately, didn't do too well because nobody cared about this movie. Now, like I said, if this movie came out, essentially, this movie probably would have, put him up there for sure. So I can understand why he's mad. Like, hey, yeah, you got paid for the job, but it's also threatening his livelihood. You know what I mean? And he did a really good job. I mean, not seeing him in anything else and just seeing him in this movie, he's top notch. He's a good actor.
Well,
and I think culturally as well, like it's, that is an important role in terms of like, little boys and girls around the world who don't feel represented. Like to have that character of Cyborg in that film is, it's important. So the way that first cut kind of just, puts him in the background, doesn't give him the character, doesn't give him the depth, doesn't, I think it was really potentially quite damaging, to be honest, on other levels as well. And then on the flip side, to look at, a studio that has done it well, you look at Marvel and Black Panther and, even Civil War, which is Captain America's film, it's almost like Captain America and Black Panther's film, that film. Do you know what I mean? Like it's so, I just wanted to throw my 2 cents in with that.
That's fine, mate.
I'll get off my soapbox now.
We've had another first appearance on the channel. I'd just like to welcome.
Oh no, here he is
from Perpetual Comics. He's just sitting there, come through the back door there. No one saw him.
Hey,
can't believe you let it in.
Thanks for having me, guys. Sorry, I'm the guy that comes late to the party.
That's right, mate. You're the cool kid. Don't worry, you're the cool kid.
Oh, I don't know about that. So yeah,
don't worry, mate. We were just bashing Joss Whedon, so.
Oh, cool. I came out a good time. Can I just say, how many bots and absolute psychos are in the chat today?
We know who that is. That's my son-in-law.
I presumed it was.
Yeah, or stepson, whatever.
Yeah. But he's not doing it. It's his friends.
Well, him and his mates.
No, he's not doing it. It's his friends.
You know, he's doing it as well.
He said, "Hi, Mum."
Could they sub up to my my channel if they want? That'd be great.
Alex and your mates, can you please sub Perpetual Comics?
I'm in the market for some bots as well. Get them over to my channel.
And to Ben as well, definitely. And to Pete. Pete's new to YouTube, so definitely.
Views a view. Get them anywhere you can get them.
Content.
I don't even know what a bot is. Don't know what you're talking about.
They're tiny little cyborgs.
It's actually it actually is Cyborg.
Yeah,
He's just trolling us.
Right. So I think we've bashed Whedon enough. So let's move on to the last category, and we will be finishing in time for
dinner.
In time.
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. Right, so what was everybody's score? So I'll ask everybody what their score is, and if we can try and keep it to like a CGC score, just to copy Kev's trademarked.
I'm suing.
Yeah.
Would you like a score for the original movie and the new movie?
That's what I was gonna do.
Yeah, do you know what? That's even better. Yeah. So seeing as Jason, you've come up with that brilliant idea.
Okay.
What are you saying?
No.
For me, no, I know what it is. I think, right. I know we've been bashing the first movie. It had some good points. Don't get me wrong, but there's a lot wrong with it, right?
Yeah.
So I would give it probably 3.5 out of 10.
Oh, okay.
That was the first movie. The new one, I'm giving 8.5. 8.5.
That's
hang on a second. Are we talking about grades? You know, like 9.2s, 9.4s, 9.6? Yeah. Right. Sorry, that's far too low then.
Oh,
yeah. Okay. Sorry. I think is it near mint? It could be a 9.2. Let's make it 9.4. I'm saying you convinced
9.4. 9.4. Well done.
9. I'll go for 9. I really enjoyed it.
Amanda?
I'd probably give the OG a 4 and an 8.
An 8?
8.0.
8.0.
8.0.
8.0. Very, very fine. Very fine. That's fine. That's fine.
Just like
Ben?
So the first one I'm going to give a 4 because it was pretty bad. And this one I'm going to give a 9.8. I still don't think it was quite perfect. I think, like it is 4 hours, and that epilogue was, just kind of for the sake of some stuff. But I really, really loved this. And can I just say, if you didn't love it,
what was your score?
9.8.
Nice.
If you didn't love this film, guys, don't worry, because apparently Warner Brothers are putting the Justice League in Space Jam 2.
Is that serious?
Is that official?
Yeah. Apparently, like there's going to be loads of characters in because it's like being played in the internet. That's the plot. And there's like Warner Brothers back catalogue. There's going to be like Joker and
we got cardboard crazes in the house with the original film a 2.5 and the new one he'd give a 9.2. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Right, Mikey.
The original, it just put me off altogether. I think a 3.0, and the Snyder Cut, I'm going to go for a 9.2.
9.2. Wow.
Solid.
Yeah.
Kevin.
All right. So I think it's the first cut. I don't remember what I originally gave it on my channel. I'm sure maybe I'm going to even go lower than what I said on my channel for the review for the first cut. But I think it's safe to give it a 6.0 grade with a purple label because it is restored. You know, we had a director coming on trying to restore the movie.
Okay.
So I think that's safe. And with everything that I had to say today and my gut instinct, I'm going to give the Snyder Cut a 9.0.
Wow. Awesome. Good. That's really good, mate. I mean, I think you were out of everybody who we've had on, you were kind of like
I was the wild card. I had to bash it because I know a lot of people are like, it's so good, watch it.
Hey, I resent that impression.
Peter?
I'm going to give the original a 3.0 because I just didn't particularly enjoy it. Really enjoyed the new one, so 9.4.
Well done.
Awesome. Good work, Pete.
Andy, I don't actually know Andy's opinion on it, really. I think you've seen it in the chat.
No, well, I'd give the original one like a 3.0, but it'd be like mine would be a green label because it had someone else's signature all over it.
Oh,
you know I did
Why didn't you get this guy on from the start?
And for the new one, I'd give it a 9.9.
Whoa!
Wow.
That's awesome. That is absolutely awesome.
This is why he didn't get him on the first time. He gave it a 9.9. Get this guy out of here.
all of his Marvel hoodies are going to turn into DC hoodies over the next week.
It's just going to be like Toy Story. They're just going to walk out the door like, what? 9.9, yay.
So it's fair to say, Andy, that you really enjoyed it.
I did. I really enjoyed it. I'm not a huge DC fan. In fairness, I'm not a huge Marvel fan. I'm more into my indie comics. But I enjoyed it. It was more of an event. The 4 hours was a long time, and I broke up into like 2 or 3 sittings. But by the end of it, I did really enjoy it, and it wanted me to go and like find out more about the other characters and their backstories and stuff like that. So it kind of did its job. Yeah,
totally, Matt. I totally agree. For me, original film, I think it was like a 4.0 for me. And then for this one, I mean, I ain't going to go 9.9, but I'm going to probably agree with, I'm going to go 9.6. 9.6 I'm going with. But
wow.
I mean, I can't even think of what a perfect film would be. I mean, The Dark Knight's probably my favorite film of all time.
Yeah,
and that's probably like a 9.9, 10. So it's not that that good, but I really enjoyed it, and I'm really proud.
The Dark Knight was a long film as well, wasn't it? That was like over 3 hours, wasn't it? Or felt like it.
Yeah, I think it was nearly 3 hours. Yeah.
Well, was it 4?
I know.
So we've officially reviewed the Zack Snyder Justice League cut. So, I mean, anybody who's still watching after that nearly 2 hours of,
no, with the 4 hours asking by Zack, the 2 hours asking by us, they've put 6 hours effort into this film.
Yeah, but you know that if people would sit for a 4 hour, Justice League film, they've got the go get them attitude to watch a 2 hour YouTube stream.
Yeah. Jim, is it not like that this YouTube's going to get sent to Josh Whedon? He's going to trim it down a bit.
Yeah, all of ours are the Josh Whedon version, 9.2.
Just to kind of go with what Attention Seek Geek mentioned about the time of the review. It probably should put timestamps about the questions, and that would help out.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, but I want to thank you all for coming on.
Yes, all 6 viewers. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I mean,
that's just us.
We dropped that's just us. Yeah. So thank you everybody for watching. Thank you to our guests for coming on. I really appreciate you, especially like Pete and Andy for jumping on. Really appreciate that.
Thanks.
Just remember to stay tuned after this for the epilogue that goes on for another 3 hours, people.
Nightmare scene.
Andy, have you got panels and points tonight?
No, we don't have panels and points. James is going having babies on Monday. So we're having a little bit of break, and I think we'll be back Easter weekend on my channel. I think that's the plan.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, I was going to say jump onto that, but obviously don't.
I might just go live tonight. You know what I'm like, just Mr. Impromptu.
Yeah,
So.
Mr. Spontaneous live, and I mean, one day I think you went live on different platforms about 5 times, didn't you?
Yeah, that's kind of how I roll. Yeah, I do nothing planned. So we might have the after party over on my channel.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who's at the back door, Amanda?
Oh, the dog. I just had to let her out.
It's very kind of you. We're live. We're live. Do you know we're live?
Yeah. So everybody, thank you for watching. If you could check out our guest channels and subscribe, it would be very appreciated. And don't forget, if you want to subscribe or are subscribed to our channel, we are giving away this once we get to 500 subscribers. So I think we're about 35 away at the moment from 500. So we'll be giving away this soon, and we will ship this. I mean, regretfully, we will ship this anywhere in the world. So you know.
Yeah, even UK, Titus, Japan, get in there.
And also, I haven't announced the giveaway yet on the channel, but I am also going to be doing a giveaway and help to boost MJ Comics to their goal. So MJ Comics donated this comic to the channel, and it is a Hellions #2 signed by, who is it signed by?
It's signed by
Mike Mayhew.
Mike Mayhew.
Oh, man, that's decent.
And so I'm going to be announcing that giveaway on my channel very soon to help these guys out for donating this to the channel. So stay tuned for that.
Thank you, Kev. That's really appreciated.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
So I hope everybody's enjoyed our review. If you haven't already, go and watch the Snyder Cut. It's awesome. It's epic. It's a lot of fun, and well done, Zach, on doing your proud, and everybody who wanted it. So thank you very much.
Technically, he didn't turn it around; he'd already done it.
Technically, yeah.
Well done for being original, Zach.
Yeah, well done, buddy. And we'll see you all soon next week, probably live, and we'll see you. Thank you very much, and good night.
Ciao.
Stay safe.